is The Walkthrough, powered by Triple F Elite Sports Training. Train like a pro. Your all-access pass to the biggest games, hottest stories, and everything high school football in This is The Walkthrough, powered by Triple F Elite Sports Training. Train like a pro. Your all-access pass to the biggest games, hottest stories, and everything high school football in East Tennessee. From the Friday night lights to the chase for championships, we bring you the stars, the headlines, and every heart-pounding moment. So strap on that chin strap and get ready. Jesse, Paige, and the 5-Star Preps team are here with the most complete high school football coverage in the state. This is The Walkthrough.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Playoff War Room Show live at Triple F. This is something we do each and every year. Started off about 5 years ago, and now it carries on. It's one of the more popular things we do here with 5-Star Preps here in Week 11, the final week of the high school football season. I'm Jesse Smithy, Senior Editor and owner of 5-Star Preps. I'll be with you all night long tonight. We're going to have a pregame show that will last till around 7 o'clock, right up into kickoff. We'll do a halftime show and a post-game show as well. So appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Got a loaded show here in the pregame. We'll be joined by Maryville quarterback Will Jones momentarily. We'll also speak with Eddie Spradlin, the head football coach at Greenville High School. We'll hear from Brian Nix, Alcoa's football coach. We'll hear from Brad Turner, Gibbs' head coach. We'll look at highlights from last night and much, much more right here on the War Room at Triple F. Our first segment, let's dig into some scene setting. This is a very important week in high school football, as most of you know. Region championships will be won, seedings will be attained, maybe spots in the playoffs will be obtained by others. And so let's check out 4 or 5 big games tonight that we really want to keep an eye on. Now, we'll get into last night's action. So many games played in Week 11 on Thursday night. But tonight, Coalfield and Oliver Springs play. This is a traditional rivalry game in Region 2 1A. Coalfield won both matchups last year in the regular season and then knocked off Oliver Springs in the state quarterfinals. Went on to play South Pittsburgh, I believe, in that state semifinal round. Oliver Springs dropped 2 games in early October, so this game has lost a little bit of its luster, but it's still for the 1 seed out of Region 2 Single A. Coalfield probably has the better body of work tonight, led by Jaden Bunch, a 1,000-yard rusher, the program's all-time leader in touchdowns, matched up against Jackson Jett, an all-purpose back from Oliver Springs who's narrowing in on 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving this year for Oliver Springs. He's also one of their leading tacklers and has 4 interceptions for Oliver Springs. So nice matchup of premier 1A backs there. That will, again, settle the 1 seed in Region 2 Single A. Off to 6A. In one of the more complicated regions I've seen in a while, only 4 or 5 teams in this region, but the scenarios are so, even the TSSAA kind of threw up its hands. It's like, guys, we don't have an answer for you right now. So what has to happen tonight between West Ridge, Jefferson County, Dobyns-Bennett, and Science Hill? Jefferson County is obviously one of our teams in 5-Star Preps. For them to get a home game, they can't be the 1 seed, but for them to get a home game and a 2 seed, they have to beat West Ridge tonight, and Dobyns-Bennett has to beat Science Hill. If Science Hill wins tonight, it throws a wrinkle into many, many scenarios, and tiebreakers are going to have to come into play. So right now, we're hoping for the easier of the scenarios, or the easiest of the scenarios. Again, Jefferson County needs to beat West Ridge, which they should, and then Dobyns-Bennett needs to beat Science Hill for it to kind of go smoothly. We'll keep track of that. And those Region 1 6A seedings that we're talking about will affect teams like Maryville or Oak Ridge or Farragut and Bradley Central in that bracket. So we're going to keep tabs on that all night. Tonight we'll have a halftime show, kind of give you score updates for that. And of course, at the end of the night, we'll do all of our pairings reveal right here live on the War Room. One of the most anticipated matchups of Week 11 is finally here. Alcoa at County. Of course, Alcoa won 10 consecutive 3A state championships, make the jump up to 4A this year, and everyone, and I mean everyone, has been anticipating this game in the final week of the regular season at Anderson County. Of course, we know Anderson County is going to do it big tonight. It's Halloween. They love to wear masks coming out of the tunnel. They love fireworks. They love the light show. I'm sure it's going to be quite the spectacle up there, but once the football game kicks off, Alcoa is going to be a heavy favorite in that game. They are 9-0 running into week 11. Anderson County did not look good last week against South Doyle. Had 2 pick sixes. They gave up an interception return for a touchdown, and so definitely not the form you want to see Anderson County taking into week 11 here on Friday night. Nevertheless, this is for a region championship. Alcoa, again, heavily favored in that. Anderson County can finish as low as a 3 seed if they do not win this football game. Gibbs could possibly move up to a 2 seed if Anderson County loses that game. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Speaking of this game, we caught up with Alcoa head coach Brian Nix following their week 10 win. And here's our conversation with Brian Nix setting up tonight's game with Anderson County.
Cobb on campus. I mean, what was that like? Did he get a chance to talk to the guys, and was that kind of a motivator for them, you think?
Yeah, he teared me up because, he started, with thanking the coaches and the community and what they did. And Randall's just a genuine human being. And I talk to our guys all the time. I told them, this guy was in the NFL 2011. He didn't get his degree till 2016. So he already had his second NFL contract, a bunch of money in the bank, still got his degree, understood that now he's in his early 30s and he's got the rest of his life to live to do something different than football. And so I try to emphasize, and the reason he's where he's at is the way he's lived his life, what he did off the field, how he took care of himself. And I think he's just an example, a real life example. All the stuff we're telling you is the truth. If you'll did the things himself, and you see the life that he's led for himself. So just so thankful that he came in early, talked to our guys. But he does so much for this community that no one, because he won't let you say anything.
Yeah.
Just what he does, and you just couldn't be a better human being, and you couldn't be more happy for a person's success than Randall.
I know we've talked about Thomas before this year, obviously his first year as a starter, but just kind of how would you evaluate him to this point in the season, what he's been able to do for you guys?
I knew he was good.
Yeah.
His accuracy, and just once again, he's just coachable. He takes what's there. He doesn't try to force the ball down the field. He doesn't just hone in on one receiver, and he keeps getting better. It's delayed gratification. Thomas sat here behind Eli Graff and played I always say, played safety a whole year. Never played defense before. Played safety a whole year, and prepared as a backup like he was a starter. That's why he was ready to come in and really win a whole year being behind and just coming in. So you love to see him have success. And once again, it's like we say about Randall. Thomas is almost a 4.0 student. Discipline's great. People in school, when you're a good human being, it carries over into everything you do. Sure.
You talked about it a minute ago, but you guys go to AC next week. Just talk about that matchup, that team, and then obviously what's kind of been your impressions of how these guys have handled 4A and their first year?
Yeah, I think, they've done well. And I think it's just always are. And I think it's helped us that, the last 2 years, our regular season schedule has been brutal. Last year, you come out of the gate with Ravenwood, that loaded Bearden team, a defending champion West team. So I think having played all those higher classification teams really helped us go into this. I think when it really gets, where it's going to get difficult is really the playoffs start next week, because you're going to get Anderson County, and then you're going to get good teams throughout the playoffs. We're going to have, got a couple of guys banged up tonight. That's going to happen. We're going to lose somebody. And so I think the depth has really got to come in more this year. But, it'll be a great environment. I've watched games up there. They do a great with game day. It's a super talented team. And, they've got just as much to gain or lose as we do. So it'll be, it's one of those games that just make one more play than they do.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors, and you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning, they are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.
Welcome back into the Playoff War Room Show, live here at Triple F. Jesse Smithy now joined by Will Jones, quarterback of the Maryville Rebels. And Will, congratulations on the win last night. I know that was a good feeling to kind of cap off the season the right way with that win against Oak Ridge. 34-0 though was kind of surprising. Take me through that, just how y'all were able to execute on either side of the ball.
Yeah, I thought we executed on a really high level last night. Credit to our coaches. They do an incredible job all week, just getting us prepared, getting us in the right look. And credit to Oak Ridge. They're 9-0 for a reason. They're well coached, physical. They got athletes, but just thought we executed really well last night.
Yeah, I mean, what was the pinpoint of attack offensively for them? Like, what did y'all really want to target that way you could, execute and get touchdown?
Yeah, I thought the big point in the game was just winning the line of scrimmage. They got athletes in the secondary. So if we could win the line of scrimmage and run the ball on them, that would open up things. And anytime you can get a good push up front, it helps out the offense, just the flow tremendously. So that was the big key. Our O-line does a great job. And I think that was the big reason in the win last night.
Yeah. Of course, Maryville beat Oak Ridge 34-0 to win that 1 seed there in Region 2-6A. And well, when I look back to your career last year, just meaningful games late in the regular season, what does that do to kind of make sure you're in the right mental frame going into the postseason?
Yeah, just having that experience of playing in big games. Obviously, Oak Ridge was a big game. Games you want to play in as a quarterback. It gets you ready for the playoffs, and that's what you want. You want to have a tough team test you right before the playoffs, and it shows how good you are and what you need to work on.
Maryville, of course, is a program that's won so many state championships and led by Derek Hunt at head coach, a guy who played there and won championships there. There's probably people out there watching tonight that are curious what it's like to play for Maryville High School, especially this time of the year. Do you notice anything switch or change mentality or focus-wise, or just the way you guys go about things once November hits?
Yeah, I think it's the same mindset all year. I just think the intensity kind of ramps up a little bit, like, all right, it's time to go. Like, it's win or go home. You better bring your best because everybody in the playoffs is going to give you your best, and just every team can play. So I think our coaches do a good job of getting us ready, and for sure we got a lot of work to do. We're proud of what we've done so far, but we know there's a lot of work to be done.
How have you kept care of your body? We're here at an awesome place called Triple F. They do a fantastic job of training athletes and keeping athletes at their top condition. How are you taking care of your body to make sure that you can be at peak form in November?
Yeah, our strength coach, Brandon Waters, Coach Waters, he does a great job, and we have a great facility, one of the best in the state. So we're lifting 2 times a week, making sure we're healthy, and he's the best in the business. So getting those lifts in helps keep us healthy and just staying strong. You can get stronger during the season. I think a lot of people think, man, we're in season, we don't have to lift, but we make sure we're in there 2 times a week.
Are you doing cold tubs, cryotherapy, anything like that?
So we do cold tubs on Wednesdays. making sure we get right, and then obviously doing the lifts.
How do you handle cold tubs? Are you good? Are you a pro at it now?
I've gotten a lot better. At first, it was a struggle to stay in there for 5 minutes, but now I've gotten a lot better, gotten used to it.
Yeah. At the top of the show, we talked about Region 1-6A, and of course, that's who you guys will face off with in the first round. How much are you kind of keeping an interested eye on what goes on tonight?
Yeah, Science Hill, Jeff County, Dobbins, Bennett, Westridge, they're all great teams. So we'll have our hands full, whatever situation occurs tonight, but it'll be fun to watch the games and get prepared for next week.
Last thing with you, and we discussed it on the War Room, or on the walkthrough earlier this week on this show, just about the difference in playoff brackets. I know you don't want to look past the first round. You take that as it is, but there's a new changes with the playoff bracket system, and you guys might see Region 3 team or Region 4 team in the second round. Does that excite you guys? How do y'all view that?
Yeah, it excites us. Obviously, I haven't gotten much into it, but it's cool. Every team you play is going to be good. They're going to give you your best shot, like I said. So we're not going to look past. Our eyes are on week 1, but it's exciting to know we might get somebody different, and we can show them what Maryville's all about.
All right. Will, man, I appreciate you joining us on the program. I know you got
you.
plans tonight, and it means a lot that you're able to stop by.
Appreciate you.
That's Will Jones, quarterback of the Maryville Rebels. We're going to take a break here on the War Room. Don't go anywhere. We got more interviews to come, highlights. We'll break down last night's action and take a look ahead here in Week 11 right here on the War Room.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors, and you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning, they are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.
A dog has no use for fancy cars or big homes or designer clothes. A waterlogged stick will do just fine. A dog doesn't care if you're rich or poor, clever or dull, smart or dumb. Give him your heart and he'll give you his. How many people can you say that about? How many people can make you feel rare and pure and special? How many people can make you feel extraordinary?
It's going to be an emotional night at Anderson County tonight. Ella, the sideline tea retrieving dog, it's her last game. They're honoring her on senior night, which is going to be amazing at Anderson County. But speaking with Lance Freeman, her owner and trainer, who's always right there by her side on the sideline earlier this week, he's emotional about it. Of course, you've probably seen features on local TV stations about Ella and her career. And we at 5 Star Preps are indebted to Ella. If you see pictures of her, there's always a 5 Star Preps patch on her jersey that she wears on Friday nights. And Lance reached out to us a long time ago and let us know that they wanted the patch. So we made them special just for Ella, and she's worn it every season since. It was on her jersey when they won the state championship back in 2022. And so anytime there's a photo or video of Ella running from the sideline, you always see the 5 Star Prep shield right there on Ella's jersey. So we are indebted to Ella. We're going to miss her dearly, and I can't wait to see what she does tonight in that game against Alcoa. But salute to Ella, the sideline tea retrieving dog up at Anderson County. And I know her younger sibling will be taking over for her next year, and we'll have a new pup on the sideline up there in Mavland. But nevertheless, Ella's had a fantastic career, and definitely wanted to air that video that Lance put out, and definitely thank him for letting us do that. All right, let's get you up to speed. Remember, tonight we're going to unveil playoff pairings, and this is going to be our traditional first round pairings, such as Region 1 versus Region 2. Now, new TSSAA playoff changes are in effect for this year. Come the second round, you will see some of the winners of those Region 1, Region 2 matchups taking on teams from Region 3 or Region 4 in the second round. So I want to make sure everybody has a reminder for that. When we release these pairings tonight, we won't have that Region 3, Region 4 kind of second round game set up for you, because they're an hour behind us, obviously, tonight. So we'd have to stay up very, very late to be able to bring you those possible second round matchups. But just know that there will be new and fresh second round opponents this year. We detailed it on the walkthrough earlier this week right here at Triple F, and how in 5A you could see maybe a Powell-Tullahoma game in the second round of the playoffs. So definitely going to be different, going to be weird, but hopefully bring some drama and some excitement to the second round of the playoffs. Of course, here last night, a number of games in the area took place. A lot of people did not want to play on Halloween, and rightfully so. Let the families go out and enjoy that. So we got about 70% of our games last night done on Thursday night, starting with Greenville and Elizabethton. This game is for the Region 1 4A championship. Greenville entered that game having won the last 3 regular season matchups against Elizabethton, and they took Elizabethton behind the woodshed. This was not a pretty game at all. Caden Ball, the quarterback at Greenville High School, had an amazing game throwing the football, running the football. It's what he's done all season long. But that Greenville defense really came to play, knocking off Elizabethton 48-7 last night to win that 1 seed up in Region 1 4A. Also settling a region championship last night was Meigs County versus Kingston. Caden Brewster, who transferred over from McMinn County in the offseason to Meigs County, he was the difference maker in this game. They play him at quarterback, only had about 40 or 50 yards passing, but in the run game is where he did his damage. 212 yards rushing from the quarterback position, had touchdown runs of 93 yards, of 39 yards. Kingston had a chance late to win this football game. They were inside the 10-yard line, down 14-10. Fumble, put the ball on the ground. Meigs County recovers. They win the championship, the region championship down there, 14-10. They will get to host first round playoff game next week. In Region 2 4A, it's been exciting all season long. We had Gibbs facing off with Carter in week 11, and Gibbs needed to win this game to have a shot at hosting a playoff game next week as a 2 seed, and they were able to do that 31-28 over a really good Carter team that came to play. Back and forth affair between both of those teams, and Carter just could not make the plays late. Threw a couple interceptions to seal it Of course, Michael Van Pelt of Gibbs kicked a 36-yarder, I believe, to create that 3-point separation, and Gibbs wins that football game 31-28. Reed Daniel at wide receiver, over 160 yards receiving. He had a career night, it felt like, at the wide receiver position. Seth Sieber on the defensive line had another big game. That guy always plays big in big moments for the Gibbs defense. And Gibbs has an interested eye on this Alcoa-Anderson County game tonight. Remember, if Anderson County loses, Gibbs likely gets that 2 seed and gets to host the playoff game next week. Traditionally, we get the Powell versus West matchup here in week 11. We got it last night. A grinded out game, to say the least. This was all defense on both sides of the ball. Powell's offense really wasn't able to manufacture much offense at all against a really tough West defense, but in the special teams game, that's where this game was won. Powell blocked a couple of field goals. They returned one for a touchdown. They win the game 15-3. This game wasn't going to change much in terms of seeding. Powell already had the 1 seed locked up, so if they lost to West, they would still get to host and be a 1 seed in next week's playoffs. But you don't want to lose in week 11, right? Especially if you're a 1 seed, you want to take momentum into the postseason, and Powell was able to do that, keep their winning streak going against the West Rebels, who had been hot of late coming into this football game. They were able to move the ball last night, but just turnovers in the kicking game, turnovers on the field really did end the Rebels, and they will be the 4 seed, looks like, going on the road probably to face Sevier County in the first round of the playoffs. But nevertheless, a Herculean effort by West High School just to get into the playoffs. Remember, they had a terrible start to the season and have bounced back since. Farragut gets into the playoffs. For the second year in a row, they started off 0-5, and for the second year in a row, the Farragut Admirals rallied late in the season and won the key region games they needed to win. And last night, they go on the road to beat Cleveland High School 31-7. And we've seen new stars emerge for Farragut along the way. We knew what they were going to have in Corbin Hobson, their quarterback, their junior quarterback, 6'3", 200 pounds, can throw the ball like a college kid. But Max Garfield has emerged as a top wide receiver in the area. He had another big game last night, over 90 yards receiving. Nathan Jacobs at running back. This is what Farragut didn't have the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, was a running back, a guy that they could count on. And Jacobs has really come to the surface for Farragut High School. They will be the 4 seed going into the 6A playoffs. And of course, finally, Maryville High School absolutely runs wild over Oak Ridge, 34-0. We talked with Will Jones, the quarterback of Maryville, that last segment. He said the key to that game was at the line of scrimmage. We have highlights to show you right now of that Maryville Oak Ridge game. Let's check that out. When we come back, we got more on the Playoff War Room here live at Triple F.
Room is presented by Smart Bank. Play smart, bank smart. Smart Bank. For more information, visit smartbank.com.
All righty, Coach. Congrats on the win tonight. Kind of a crazy one, but what do you think is the key to y'all's win tonight?
Well, I think defensively we caused some turnovers. Got a couple interceptions there. Offensively, the penalties. The past 2 weeks of penalties, both sides. It is what it is, but proud of our offense for overcoming that. And Mikael going down kicking the field goal. Probably should have kicked more, but we won, so it's okay. But proud of our guys. Our guys battled. We put them in some situations coaching-wise that probably wasn't the best, but they battled, did a good job, and obviously got the first down when we had to.
Like I said, it was a crazy game, back and forth. Yeah. Momentum kind of, swapped for both teams. Yeah. It's got to be you have to be a mentally tough team to play in these types of games. So what can you say about your team and just the way that, the resiliency of how y'all pulled it out?
We've been in this situation last week. We had a tight one last week, and we had some tight ones early on. So proud of these guys, these seniors. We got 7 seniors, and they're just – They had the mindset coming out. We're going to refuse to lose, and they did a good job.
Yeah, big game coming up.
Yes, sir.
What's going to be the key for y'all moving forward?
Well, obviously, if Alcoa wins, we're a 2 seed playing here, and I think it's Cherokee. But you know how it goes the last week of the season. But looking forward to it. Hopefully, we're here and see how far we can go.
Welcome back to the Playoff War Room Show live at Triple F. Final segment here of the show. I know a lot of you want to watch games tonight, whether on TV, streaming, or in person. So thanks for tuning in here. We got a show coming up at halftime. We'll update scores from around the area, and then our big post-game show is what we do best here at the Playoff War Room Show. We'll unveil the playoff pairings for all our 5-star preps area teams. Now, we won't have the brackets for the rest of the state. Remember, they're an hour behind us. But we're going to go live when the games end here and show you the first round matchups, talk about some of those and more right here on 5-Star Prep social media. I'm Jesse Smithy, and you heard from Brad Turner there, and definitely want to give him a shout out, the head football coach at Gibbs High School. What a win that was over Carter, and they've won so many close games lately, and I think that's a testament to that program and how far it's come. But they now have a legit chance to host a playoff game and be a 2 seed in the 4A playoff. They just need Alcoa to knock off Anderson County tonight. But also want to give a shout out to Gibbs running back Tucker Owenby. He's one of the stars of that game that we talked about last segment, at over 160 yards rushing in that win for Gibbs High School. And he is a player that has emerged alongside quarterback Keith Jones to lead this Gibbs program to where they are this year. And that's in a very good spot going into the 4A playoffs. All right. Putting a bow on things this week, let's talk about Mr. Football. Now, ballots went out earlier this week to media and coaches around the state. I want to explain the process to you guys because there's a lot of confusion about the Mr. Football Awards. It is a regular season award only. I cannot stress that enough. Something that a player does in round 2 or round 3 that might be a big-time game against a prospect or whatever, it does not matter. The final voting will be concluded next week in Nashville. So what happens is the TSSAA sends out all these online ballots to coaches and media across the state. Those are filled in and sent in, and the voters meeting that takes place early next week will take a look at all that. They'll discuss a lot of the candidates. They'll weed some out that don't belong, and there'll be a final vote cast there at Hermitage at the TSSAA offices early next week. We will likely get Mr. Football semifinalists. Remember, that's 5 semifinalists in all classifications. That'll be announced on Thursday next week, so make sure you're checking out 5-Star Preps for that. We'll get that from the TSSAA, release that on the website and all our social media channels. And then in about 2 weeks, they will narrow it down to the 3 finalists in each classifications. And then the ceremony announcing the winners will be the week after the state championship games. That will be held at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. But remember, regular season award only. Keep that in mind. I cannot stress that enough. We get so many complaints about, hey, this guy did it better than that guy. Why didn't he win Mr. Football? Believe me, if playoff games were taken into consideration, I think sometimes the outcomes would be changed, but it's a regular season award only. Let's remind you of the big games we'll be following tonight that involve many big teams that could affect the playoff brackets here in East Tennessee. Coalfield at Oliver Springs, it's for a Region 2 1A championship, 1 seed on the line there. Region 16A is all sorts of convoluted and crazy right now. That's Westridge at Jefferson County. That's Dobyns-Bennett at Science Hill. Remember, the easy equation here, we need Dobyns-Bennett to win, we need Jefferson County to win. If that follows true and that goes like chalk like we think it should be, all the seedings are pretty simple to figure out. But if Science Hill wins, and it gets absolutely nuts, and we might have to rely on the TSS delay to execute some tiebreakers, and that can get all kinds of crazy. So keep an eye out on those games. And of course, Alcoa at Anderson County, that's the game that everybody wanted to see. Alcoa trying to lock up that Region 2 4A crown on the road tonight. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere up there at Anderson County in Clinton. And we'll definitely have our 5-star prep staff on there keeping tabs on that game. Check back with us tonight at halftime. We're going to have halftime scores of these meaningful football games. We're going to be taking a look at some of these brackets and what could match up in the first round of next week's TSSAA playoffs. But for now, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the War Room halftime show and big post-game show tonight. Make sure you're checking back with us. We'll be live right here on Twitter, X, Facebook, and YouTube. So stick around with us tonight. We're going to have some fun. Thanks for tuning in.
This is The Walkthrough, powered by Triple F Elite Sports Training. Train like a pro. Your all-access pass to the biggest games, hottest stories, and everything high school football in East Tennessee. From the Friday night lights to the chase for championships, we bring you the stars, the headlines, and every heart-pounding moment. So strap on that chin strap and get ready. Jesse, Paige, and the 5-star Preps team are here with the most complete high school football coverage in the state. This is The Walkthrough.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors, and you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning, they are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG.